today's top stories. DOTC officials admit they have already signed a supply contract for the ZTE deal. The AFP warns the ZTE issue could be used for new destabilization moves. Speaker Jose de Venecia faces an ethics complaint at the lower house in connection with ZTE. In the U.S., O.J. Simpson posts bail in his armed robbery case. And on Q&A, Senator Jambi Madrigal says she is no pushover. The president's men came in full force and put a gallant attempt to defend the national broadband deal with ZTE before the Senate. But lawmakers did not have to try too hard to find loopholes in their explanations. Faye Tobias has that story live from the Senate. Faye.
Martin, the Senate Joint Committee investigating the controversial ZTE deal adjourned just a few minutes ago after conducting a hearing for almost 7 hours. DOTC Secretary Leandro Mendoza defended the government's agreement with China's ZTE, which Joey de Venecia branded as grossly overpriced. He maintained ZTE offered a better proposal compared to de Venecia's Amsterdam holdings and US-based Arescom. He said the ZTE contract would save government billions of pesos. Palace officials also insisted that the public bidding was unnecessary because the broadband project was a government-to-government agreement. But senators asked the officials to clarify the nature of the deal signed during an election period where the government is banned from entering into contracts. DOTC initially denied there was an agreement but later admitted that the government has signed a contract. They insisted foreign contracts are exempted from the election ban and that the deal will become a part and parcel of a bigger contract signed by both China and the Philippines. Martin Amsterdam Holdings co-owner Joey de Venecia was also castigated by senators after failing to explain further how his company can finance the NBN project. De Venecia was initially bragging that his firm can provide a zero-cost deal for the government. De Venecia was subjected to further criticisms by Senator Juan Ponce Enrile for possibly violating the anti-graft law, which prohibits relatives of the president down to the House Speaker from entering into government contracts. Here are some of the highlights in today's proceedings. Martin, the ZTE probe will resume next week.
That was Faye Tobias reporting live from the Senate. House Speaker Jose de Venecia may just end up one of the biggest casualties of his son's expose on the ZTE controversy, other than alleged plans to oust him. An ethics complaint is also rocking his leadership. More from Naomi Dairit.
Speaker Jose de Venecia is facing an ethics complaint in the lower house for allegedly hosting a breakfast meeting in his house between his son Joey de Venecia and COMELEC Chairman Benjamin Abalos over the ZTE deal. The complaint, filed by lawyer Roel Pulido, was based on the Speaker's son's testimony before the Senate.
The mere fact na nag-sponsor siya ng breakfast meeting to talk about business that his son is prohibited from engaging in, at the minimum, meron ng appearance of impropriety.
Pulido adds, the Speaker granted his son's company Amsterdam Holdings special privileges in the form of legislative franchises in 1995 and 1997.
So una, it was a paging business expanded para umabot sa broadband. So the franchise was in fact amended in another law, again passed during the incumbency of his father.
Baka hindi maging credible ang outcome ng investigasyon kung ito ay dadaan sa proseso ng Kamara. hindi ka magiging chairman ng anumang committee kung hindi ka nominated by the Speaker of the House.
Talks of a possible change in the House leadership intensified after an emergency meeting in Malacanang last night, attended by about 120 administration congressmen. The meeting was initiated by the Arroyos in the lower house, supposedly to show support for the chief executive. But other administration congressmen who are known supporters of the speaker were kept in the dark.
Si Tony Diaz ang sabi, ma'am, kasi last speaker nga siya, ma'am, give us now the marching order. At kung ayaw ni Papling mag-speaker, o Louis Villaperte, o Joey Solis, ako ma'am. Ayun, natawa.
I support the Speaker of the House because he is my leader in the House. I support the President because he is the President.
The minority bloc remains in a wait-and-see attitude, but admits they are not sold on the idea of ousting the Speaker at this time. Nami Dayri, ABC News.
The Armed Forces has confirmed fresh attempts to recruit soldiers in another bid to bring down the Arroyo administration. Errol Kamatbat has that story.
Complaints of low pay and insufficient equipment as a result of massive corruption in the military's procurement process are nothing new in the military service. Defective mortars have been blamed in several occasions for the deaths of Marines in combat. Armed Forces Chief General Hermanes Esperon says these old issues are now used as the battle cry in new efforts to gain military support to topple the Arroyo administration.
I must tell you that we have been monitoring some attempts to recruit once again based on some flimsy issues, old issues in fact, para mayroong sumama sa kanila.
Esperon did not name any person or group behind the alleged plot, but he says the recruitment has failed so far because soldiers have become cautious about joining the stabilization attempts at the risk of jeopardizing their careers in the military service. More than 30 military officials are still languishing in detention because of their alleged involvement in a coup attempt in 2006.
Our soldiers have been imbued with the idea that it is only through the chain of command that we should be performing our duties. So, sa mga experience din ng mga sundalong kanilang recruit at pinabayaan pagkatapos, alam na rin ng sundalo kung anong dapat nilang gawin.
Esperon admits the whole AFP is watching with keen interest the developments in the controversial National Broadband Network deal. He says it is not unthinkable for destabilizers to use this issue to their advantage.
We cannot make conclusions on the testimony of a single person. Kaya abangan na lang natin kung ano talaga yung mga totoong nangyari.
The Philippine National Police likewise downplayed the rumors of another destabilization plot, saying there are no groups capable of mounting a real threat at this time. Errol Kamatbat, ABC News.
Next on Centro, Speaker de Venecia downplays alleged plans to oust him. And on Q&A, Senator Jambi Madrigal says she is no pushover.